Hey there, I am at Walt Disney World for a few days to try out the new Guardians of the Galaxy attraction and some new food and tell you how it went. So I want to start with Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, which is the first coaster ever at Epcot, and it opened about a week ago. And there are a few different ways to kind of get in line for the attraction. So there is currently no standby wait, meaning you can't just walk up to the attraction and get in line and wait and get on it. And like they've been doing with new attractions here, they're using a virtual queue system where you use the My Disney Experience app, and you have two opportunities during the day to join the virtual queue. If you can get into it, you'll be assigned a boarding group, and then you'll be called back to the attraction when it's time for your boarding group. So I want to tell you how quickly those went and our kind of experience with using that. The other way is to buy an individual Lightning Lane pass for the attraction, and that costs $14 each. So those are both available first in the day at 7 a.m. Now, you do have to be staying at a Disney resort to buy the individual Lightning Lane at 7. Otherwise, if you're not, it's available theoretically when the park opens. However, all of the individual Lightning Lanes were gone by the time the park opened. That was at 8:30. And yes, so I really wanted to get the individual Lightning Lane. I didn't want to rely on the virtual queue. So I'm here with my boyfriend, Andy, and we both at 7 a.m. had our phones ready to go. We had, of course, the app was open. We had pinned Guardians of the Galaxy to the top of the board. So anytime you're wanting to get a pass right at 7 o'clock, whether that be with Genie Plus or with purchasing an individual Lightning Lane, I strongly suggest you use Disney Genie to pin the attraction to the top of your tip board. If you don't know what I'm talking about at all, I suggest you go back and listen to my episode that really walks you through how to use Genie Plus. And then I also did, I think, a follow-up about, how to get Toy Story Genie Plus pass. And I explained pinning the attraction to the top of the board and kind of walk you through that. So I strongly suggest doing that. I also pinned to the top of my board Remy. So right now, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure is included with Genie Plus. It was formerly an individual ride, but now they have bumped it to Genie Plus, and so there's only one individual Lightning Lane attraction at each park. So the one at Epcot is Guardians of the Galaxy. So I pinned both of those to the top because my plan was, if I could pull it off, to buy the pass for Guardians of the Galaxy and then immediately go in and try to also get a Genie Plus Lightning Lane reservation for Remy. We were both going to try and do that. The way it went is right at 7, I pulled the app down to refresh, and I tried to get the individual Lightning Lane for Guardians. He also tried, and his phone basically froze up and he couldn't do anything. I was able to get a Lightning Lane pass for both of us for Guardians, and I think our return time was, I don't remember, 10, 11, it was sometime in the morning. So success with that. Now, originally we had thought we would split it up, and one of us would try to do the virtual queue and the other would try to get the Lightning Lane. I'm glad we didn't do that because if he had been the one who was trying to get the Lightning Lane, he wouldn't have been able to get it. So it was good that we were both trying to get the thing that we really wanted. So that's a good approach when you're here with someone else, another adult who can try as well on their phone. I suggest you both try to get the thing that you want the most, because your odds increase dramatically when you both do that. Well, I was fast on the draw, so I got it. And I was like, I got it. And I was like, try and get Remy. And so we both were trying to go back, but his phone was basically frozen, and he has an Android. I don't know if that makes a difference. I know the apps are different. But I was able to go back out of that and go and grab a Genie Plus pass for Remy, but it was for later in the day because in the 15-30 seconds that it took to buy the pass for Guardians, enough people had secured a Genie Plus reservation for the Remy ride that the return time, I think our return time was around dinner. Yeah, because we went straight from there to eat right afterwards. So, but I still did get one. Now, in terms of how hard is the individual Lightning Lane pass to get for Guardians of the Galaxy, they were still available 5 minutes after, so they're not going to go right away. However, the virtual queue was instantly gone. So it seems that more people are wanting access to the virtual queue because they can do it for free and they don't have to pay anything. Than people that are trying to get the individual Lightning Lane. So when we went and rode it, I asked a cast member when we checked in, if you do get a spot on the virtual queue, what would you expect to wait for it? Because a big problem with Remy, when they had both the virtual queue and the individual Lightning Lane, is that you'd get called back for your for the virtual queue and you'd have to wait 1 or 2 hours. And I was like, oh my God, that's terrible. I mean, you've already been waiting all day for your time and then you get called back and you have to wait hours and night. She said they're really trying to keep it to 30 minutes. And that fluctuates a little bit, but you can expect to wait up to 30 minutes when you get called back for the virtual queue. And I was like, good. I think they realized it was a problem before, that people were having to wait too long. So they're trying to fix it with that. I don't want to give away anything about the attraction. I knew nothing about it when I went and experienced it for the first time. I didn't watch any videos or anything like that. And I'm glad I did it because it was a huge surprise. All I can say is that it was amazing. We were both so blown away by it. It is so much fun. And that's all I'm going to say is don't miss it. It's outstanding. And they did such a good job with the attraction, and a totally unique ride vehicle, a totally unique experience riding it compared to anything else that's here at Disney World and probably anywhere else in the world. I don't know of any other attraction that uses that type of ride vehicle. So it was a treat, and I'm glad we did it. So in terms of the virtual queue, there is a second opportunity to join the virtual queue at 1 p.m. So clearly at 7 a.m. you don't have to be in the park because the park's not open yet. At 7 a.m. you'll be wherever to join the virtual queue at 7. However, at 1 p.m. you do physically have to be inside Epcot to try and join the virtual queue at 1. So there is a chance where you could ride this twice if you were able to get a spot in the virtual queue and also purchase the Lightning Lane. You could ride it twice in the same day. So I was like, well, for research, I'm going to try and get in the virtual queue at 1 just to see if I can. And, if it's a good time, and we'll go and ride it again. That'd be awesome. So at 1, I tried to get in the virtual queue, and they do have a thing in the app where you can kind of select your party for the virtual queue and get to a screen where you can hit a button to refresh it right at the time when the virtual queue opens. And I was like, I don't know how this is going to work. We'll see. So I did that for the 1 o'clock time. I was all ready to go. Right when my phone changed to 1, I tapped refresh, and it was loading. And I was like, this isn't going to go well. I can tell right now. And it didn't. Well, it eventually did give me a spot in the virtual queue. Oh, fireworks are starting at Epcot right now. I'm wrapping up anyway, but you'll hear them in the background. It did give me a spot in the virtual queue, but our boarding group was 173, and it said our expected time to return was at 9 p.m. And I thought, well, if anything goes haywire during the day, we're not going to get called back. And it did turn out later that we were not going to get called back. So I got a notification in the app, and it said, we're not going to get to your boarding group. And that was, I think, at 5 p.m. They realized that they were never going to get to that boarding group. So though I did get a spot in the virtual queue, I ended up not being able to go back and ride it a second time. But anyway, I hope that all of that helps you if you're coming soon and you want to know how to navigate Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a great attraction. I think it was worth paying the $14 to be guaranteed a spot to ride it. Because it's not to be missed. Thanks for listening.